You know, trying to figure out what's healthy can feel like you're driving in a new city with no map, right? But what if you had a top-of-the-line GPS? Well, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to dive into the brand new 2026 Clinical Diet Guidelines. Think of them as your personal health GPS. Let's fire it up.
I mean, seriously, are you ever just completely overwhelmed by all the health advice out there? One minute, eggs are the enemy. The next, they're a superfood. It's just so confusing. And you're not alone in feeling that way. But what if there was a way to cut through all that noise?
Well, that's exactly where these new 2026 clinical guidelines come in. And I want you to stop thinking of them as some strict, boring rulebook. Instead, picture a super smart precision GPS system for your body. It uses real, science-backed waypoints to guide you on your unique health journey.
Okay, so this health GPS sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Well, let's take it for a spin. We're going to plug in 3 totally different but very common health destinations and see what kind of route it maps out for us. So the 3 destinations we're programming in today are hypertension, you probably know it as high blood pressure, diabetes, and coronary artery disease. Now, what's really important to get is that each one of these needs its own specific, tailored route to get to a better place.
All right, first up on our journey, hypertension. So, if your GPS is set for lower blood pressure, the system is going to recommend a primary, super well-tested path. It's called the DASH route.
And DASH, by the way, stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. This isn't some fad diet. It is the most direct, science-backed route you can take to get your blood pressure down. There's a really good reason it's called the gold standard, you know? So what does this route actually look like on the map? Our GPS breaks it down into 3 crucial waypoints you need to hit. First, you've got to get a handle on your sodium. Second, you need to boost some key nutrients. And third, you have to prioritize the right kinds of food groups.
And here's where that GPS precision really kicks in. Look at this number. Now, most people hear the standard advice, right? Stick to 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. But for the biggest, most powerful impact on your blood pressure, the optimal goal is actually 1,500 milligrams. Hitting that specific landmark can be a total game changer.
And check this out. This is so important. This whole approach isn't about deprivation. It's not just about what you cut out. It's about what you strategically add in. We're talking 4 to 5 servings of fruits and 4 to 5 servings of veggies every single day, plus 2 to 3 servings of low-fat dairy. Why? Because these foods are absolute powerhouses of stuff like potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And those are the nutrients that literally help keep your blood vessels relaxed and flexible. Okay, let's punch in our next destination, diabetes. Now this is interesting. If hypertension was like following a major highway, managing diabetes is more like getting a custom map. It's way more personalized and has to be tailored to you. For a lot of folks with diabetes, especially if they're carrying extra weight, one of the first big waypoints on that map is a 5 to 7% drop in body weight. And look, we're not talking about some huge, drastic transformation here. Even that small, modest goal can make a massive difference in how well your body uses insulin. But what happens if you're trying to navigate to 2 places at once? Right? Say you have both diabetes and high blood pressure. Well, the GPS has a special route for that too. It's called DASH 4D. It basically takes that awesome DASH plan we just talked about and gives it a tune-up. It dials back the carbs a bit to help with blood sugar, and it amps up the healthy, unsaturated fats, from things like avocados and nuts to give your heart some extra backup.
All right, time for our final destination, coronary artery disease. For this one, our health GPS plots out what are called cardioprotective paths. I love that name. These are routes designed specifically to protect your heart and keep it running strong.
And one of the biggest directives on this path is all about fat. But here's the twist. It's about the quality of the fat, not just the quantity. The goal is to make sure saturated fats make up less than 10% of your daily calories. That means the other 90+% should come from the good stuff, those unsaturated fats you find in olive oil, fish, and nuts. And the map for a healthy heart gives us some really clear road signs too. The 2026 guidelines are basically screaming, avoid this exit when it comes to highly processed and ultra-processed foods, because they just fuel inflammation. Instead, the GPS wants to reroute you towards things like plant-based proteins, think beans and lentils, and to choose lean meats instead of red or processed ones. It's all about reducing the strain on your heart. So, we've looked at a few custom routes, right? But the 2026 guidelines also came with something else. Think of it like a massive, system-wide software update for everyone's health GPS, no matter your destination.
And yeah, this is a big deal, coming straight from top federal agencies like the HHS and the USDA.
And at the very core of this entire update is one powerful idea: food is medicine. Now, that's not just a catchy phrase, it signals a huge shift in thinking. We're moving away from just reacting to sickness and towards using food proactively to prevent and manage it in the first place. It's a fundamental change in how we look at what's on our plate.
And this new software comes with some very specific new features. For the very first time, there's a recommended limit on added sugar per meal for adults. We're talking less than 10 grams. This is huge. It's going to completely change how we look at nutrition labels, because now we're not just thinking about a daily total, but about the impact of every single meal.
But honestly, one of the most significant and maybe surprising parts of this update is about kids. For children under 10, the new guideline for added sugar is none. 0. That is an incredibly powerful and protective statement. The goal is to build a healthy foundation from the very beginning, to steer clear of those early habits that can lead to problems down the road.
This system update also recalibrates our other macros, protein, fats, and carbs. There's a big new focus on upping our intake of high-quality protein, on getting our fats from whole food sources, like eggs or even tallow, and on making sure we get plenty of fiber-rich whole grains. These are all powerful tweaks that can benefit pretty much anyone, no matter what their health journey looks like.
Okay, so we've explored all these different routes and downloaded the big system update. What's the big takeaway here? Let's zoom out and look at the whole map. Here's the most important thing I want you to walk away with. This health GPS, these guidelines, they're not about telling you all the things you can't do. They're about empowerment. They're a tool that puts you in the driver's seat of your own health journey with a clear, reliable map to help you get where you want to go. So I'll leave you with this question. If your plate really is your compass, where are you going to navigate next? Thanks for coming along for the ride.